Well, I've read all the literature um, and I'm ready to start. So the first job is to mark out the frames back on the model, so I'll get a nice clean line, because you want this thing to look perfect and symmetrical. And so to do that, all we're doing right now is lining up the ribs that we can see and marking the spots we can accurately mark. Clearly, in hindsight, I should have left some spaces before completing the full modeling, particularly down maybe on the last rake 6 would have been an ideal time to mark out where the frames line up, simply to help locate where the individual tree nails go. The simplest way I found to do this is to take a sheet of paper and put it on the model, mark off the top, line one of the frames up, and then just copy it off. So it really doesn't matter where you place this. And you can see I was correct here and then started going off. So I'll correct it and I won't bother to take you through the repetition of this. Well, that seems to have gotten it pretty good. And so that's going to line up how I place the tree nails on the various planks. The next step is to mark out where each tree nail is going. Just to go through how David suggests the tree nails are fastened, if we go first of all to any plank or strake that is 11 inches and up, this is his suggestion. Two tree nails in each frame as the strake passes over it. If it's between 10 to 8 inches wide, he's suggesting this alternate pattern of 2, then 1, then in the opposite direction, 2, then 1, then in the opposite direction, 2 again, and then going below, reversing, which gives it some level of strength. And then if it's very thin, which is below 8 inches, again the pattern is using one tree nail and again alternating them from top to bottom. Before you start, if you're a member of the Nautical Research Guild, there is a fantastic paper written by Alan O'Neill. You start somewhere. You can start at the center, as I have done, or you can start wherever you want. But what you want to, again, make sure that there's symmetry. And you'll follow the instructions. The reason we're doing this is that this is very reversible. If we make an error, we can simply rub it out and start again. And because it's, in a sense, very repetitive, it's quite easy to make an error. We've marked the hull out and we're going to start drilling the holes. At first I started out by using this little punch to mark the holes. And I quickly realized that this was going to take forever and my arthritis was starting to give me some trouble. So I'm turning back to my great little tool, the turbo carver, and we're going to use that to really make the starter hole. We're just going to start and put a few starter holes on the top row here. We're going to use a drill bit slightly larger. And while we're looking at the turbo carver, I thought I'd just update you as to the improvements I've made to the system since I last used it. The turbo carver comes with a really shitty little foot pedal using pressure on the line. And this is a proper industrial foot pedal. This is tails on pneumatic foot valve, and again upgraded to the more higher quality blue tubes. It's got a safety blowout valve on it in case the pressure gets too high. And that blue line goes all the way back to the compressor, and it really is a fantastic little compressor. It's not very noisy compared to the last one I had. I can put this on and no one in the household really complains about it. I'm going to use a 50% PVA mix, put the treenails in. Don't really need a lot of water. And so we start. The thought of installing over 6,000 treenails can be very intimidating. So not only do you have to break this up mentally into small pieces, but physically you need to do it. My view is, well, I've found that I can't work at this a single task probably for more than an hour, and then I go away. So since it takes about 20 minutes to half an hour for the glue to dry and the treenail to hold in the model, that's the sort of batch I work, maximum an hour. Somebody also asked why I leave the treenail sticking out, why don't I just cut it and put it in? And again, the reason is simple, that I want the treenail to hold hard in the planks. So I need to leave it for at least half an hour for the glue to set properly. Otherwise, when you come to sand it, you'll actually see them falling out and you'll have to start the task all over again. Here I'm just doing a trial sand to see if I have achieved my objective before I do the whole model. And make sure that the treenail doesn't scream at you and complements the model rather than distracts from it. With the sun shining this morning, it's easy to see the little bumps which show where the treenails are in. I've found it's better to leave it like this because when I'm drilling the holes and opening them up and then I go to put the treenails in, sometimes the dust gets in the hole and you don't see it and you have to come back afterwards. So I've decided I'm not sanding at all. I'm just putting treenails in, and when it's all completed, then I'll come and sand the hull down. Another issue was whether I should put treenails in the whale. This is, as you remember, this is Green Heart. I've actually done some trial treenails here, and you really can't see them. And so the question is, should you still put the treenails on or not? I had a discussion with Greg about this, and his view is if you can't really see it, it doesn't make sense putting it in. That's what I'm probably going to do. This piece here, which is slightly lighter, you might be able to see it, but there's absolutely no way you would see it in the majority of the whale. Another little technique I found is that I'm trying to cover everything, and so when I'm putting these tree nails in one after the other, because I've lined up all the holes, but sometimes it's very difficult when you're pushing the piece in to get pieces that are very close to each other. And there's nothing wrong with leaving spaces out because you can see them very easily and come back and take 2 bites at the cherry. It's not going to cost you any time, and it really makes it much easier to put the tree nail in the hole and make sure that it's at the correct depth. And that's what we're doing here, coming back afterwards and putting in pieces. These were just at the stern crossing over and made it very difficult to put the tree nails in. The stack of tree nails is starting to get a little low, and we've just crossed 1,000 installed. So that's 2, 3, 4. So clearly I'm going to have to make another batch of tree nails. So in between sticking and then waiting on them to dry, I wait about half an hour. I'm going to whip off another batch. I've got very good at stripping out the juniper hardwood blanks. So that's what I'm going to do, and it'll help fill the time. The key to making dowers is to find something to do, probably in front of the television, maybe listening to some nice music, and just making sure you don't get too bored. So here's the stock, and here's the Jim Burns draw plate, and a wife who's not going to be too happy when she sees all this on the floor, but anyway. And I just sit here watching the television, letting time pass, and whipping out nice long tree nails. I've managed to fill up the glass again, so that should be enough to finish off this side, and maybe if I'm lucky, do half the other side. That was about 3 to 4 hours work. And I have to tell you, my fingers are really sore now from twirling these pieces through the draw plate. I'm well over 2,500 tree nails drilled and put in, and I'm changing the drill bit for the first time, and I also had to change one of the turbo carver bits. So that's pretty good going so far. To get the tree nails properly stuck, you tend to put it in the hole and turn it. So that makes sure that the glue gets all around the tree nail. Otherwise, what I've found is that it'll stick on one side and you'll actually see an unglued join on the other side. And that brings us to 3,640 tree nails per side. So you could round that off that the total model is roughly 7,000 tree nails. When I started this hull project, I wasn't sure when I'd get to the bottom of the tree nail exercise. And here we are, half is done. So I'm not obviously going to take you through putting tree nails on the other half. But it's not been as bad as I thought it was going to be. Again, take a big task, break it into little pieces, and day by day it gets done. And when you're tired, walk away and go and do something else. I'm amazed that only 5 tree nails came out. I really thought a lot more would have come out. These obviously are ones that didn't go in properly, so we just re-drill them in some cases and just put them back in. All that's left to do is termite treat again and then put the wipe-on poly. So we still have a fair amount to do, which I'll go through in the next video. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I have to say at this stage I have. First time I've completed this many tree nails, and I hope you found something useful in it. Having said that, keep modeling and we'll see you in our next video.